Hello and welcome to another instalment of How To with KCPOS. Today I'm going to be creating some users within KCPOS to show you how easy it is, but also how in depth it can be as well. So to do that, I'm going to go through to the KCPOS administrator software to create those. So let's go there now. Okay, here we are. So as you can see on the top of the screen there, we've got the users button. We simply press that and we're in the screen that we are now. First thing you'll see is a list of all the current POS operators within KCPOS. You can simply double click them to edit the information, or we can add a new record, which is what we're going to do now. So if we hit the new record button, you'll get all the screen to input the information for the user. So I'm just going to populate some of this now. Okay, so we've input the user ID, which is what the POS operator will see on the till when they log in. We've got the password, and now there's also many different login methods for KCPOS. We've got the Magstrike reader, Dallas key reader, and also a biometrics reader. You simply just put the information into that box and it will allow them to log in with it. You've got the full name, which will appear on any reports that you run with your users, and things like that. One of the great things with KCPOS is that you can also select a template, a permissions template for your users to make the creation process a lot quicker. So let's have a look here. So we've got 4 different template permissions. We've got System Administrator, Branch Manager, POS Supervisor, and a POS Operator. All of them will, reduce the amount of permissions that are available to that user, depending on the hierarchy system. So we'll set the demonstration user to be a System Administrator, and as you'll now see in the next tab, the majority of those permissions will be enabled. One of the great things with KCPOS is that you can now amend that template for this particular user. So you've got the general system administrator template, but you don't want them to be able to process account sales, so you can disable that function for that user. So you can have 2 system administrators, but their permissions can still change. They can still differ. So as you can see, there's so many different functions that you can enable and disable within KCPOS. And that's not just within KCPOS Till, that's within KCPOS Administrator as well. Now, like I've mentioned before, KCPOS Administrator is where most of the configuration happens for KCPOS Till, so you'll want to restrict that for some users as well. What you can also do is you can also allow the tenders and things like that for cash-only accounts. So you can obviously restrict the account, restrict a card, restrict check, and things like that. On a per user basis as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a permission that will be great to test with. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict the discount by percentage function, just so I can show you what happens on the till if you don't have the permission to do so. So let's save that and go back to the till. Okay, so we're back at the till. I'm just going to avoid this item, sign off and sign in with our new demonstration user. Because it is very live. You've just created the user, you can now log in with the till. It will have all the same permissions that we've created, and it will just be there ready to use. So let's go ahead and add an item. Here we go. So this OK magazine is $2.95. Now this demonstration user wants to discount this item by percentage. Now as you can see, you'll get a pop-up instantly showing that they don't have the sufficient permissions to be able to perform the action. So what you can do is you can then select to log in or perform this action under a different user with the permissions, and this is all recorded within KCPOS. So I can then log in, come in as the manager, put the manager password in, and then now have the ability to perform that function. So it definitely shows you how flexible but also how in depth the user permissions are within KCPOS, and also how you can process different functions if you don't have the sufficient permissions. You can call over a supervisor or a manager to be able to complete the sale, but also to manage those permissions and manage what the user can do. There we go. So we'll just complete this sale. So we've got a 10% discount there, down to $2.65. We'll end that cash tender. There we go. We've now completed the sale. So that's it. That's done. We've been able to restrict permissions, but also complete the sale in a timely manner. And that's how easy it is, but also like I've said, how in depth and how flexible the user permissions are within KCPOS. Thank you very much for watching this overview of the user creation within KCPOS. I hope to see you soon.